Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to day 13 of 30 days of sketches and Scraptember. This is today's sketch. It's an awesome starburst effect sketch with two photos and a circular element there with your title. Today's prompt for Scraptember is stars. So what I have done is I'll leave the sketch there. The sketch is from Lottie Loves Paper and it's sketch number 3. So I've very roughly and messily drawn out some lines. I will probably add another one in somewhere. I don't know if I'm happy with it yet. We'll see how it goes. I've got two photos that I'm going to use, two 3x4s. And what I'm thinking, I have these stars from Heidi Swap. They are acrylic, I think, not acrylic. Sort of, well, yeah, I suppose they are thin acrylic acetate, rather. And I've picked out all the ones with blue, or blue being the predominant colour. And then I've also picked out a load that are outlines. So, like these ones, which I equally love as well. I'm going to combine today's sketch with another Dotty About Flair Monochromatic Madness Challenge. This one being Blue Agate, so blue. I've got the set of flair that you can win in the Dotty About Flair Facebook group. So all sorts of patterns and shades of blue. And that's what I'm going to be using today. I do have a couple of extras. And I do have some acetate star stickers from Elle's studio. My thinking was to combine stars with flair. So something like, if I add stars to the end and then combining them with some flair. So along these lines like so. I'm not sure whether I will do everyone with flair or every other, or how we will do that yet. I'll have a play with that. So that's my initial idea. I'm not overly happy with my starburst here, but I'm going to roll with it and see where we end up. My thinking also was to do a little bit of packaging technique around here, just around where my photos are going to go. I'm probably going to ignore the circular element behind the photos, although that may be a good place to get a bit of patterned paper in. We'll see. And then I'll probably map the entire layout on a sheet of Vicky Bootin. I'm not sure which collection it is, but she's got a really nice starry navy background paper, so I may do that. So I'm just going to go off and do a little bit of the packaging technique here, and then we'll come back and probably do a bit of splatters and start getting our stars on. And I think we're just going to keep this as it is. There are in the sketch a lot more lines, so you can see each star, there are lines going to each point of the star on the side that they can get to. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines to each star. And I love that effect, and it would look brilliant with stitching or something like that. I'm not going to do that. I may add in more lines. So this is sort of the base, and then I might add in a few more lines for decoration. We'll see how that goes. But that's where we're starting from. So let me get a bit of something going, and then we'll pop back and do a bit of splattering. I've got two of the pattern papers from Vicky Bootin. I've got this one, which is from Colour Study, and this one, which is from Storyteller. I am going to map the whole layout on this one, I think. So I thought I would do this on camera with you. So I'm just going to take the branding strip off. I know most of you will probably keep branding strips, and I always intend on doing, but then end up throwing them in the bin. And I really should keep them. But anyway, so I'm gutting the middle of this one. So I want to map my photos on the same, and then I'm going to take half a centimetre, which is roughly 1/4 of an inch off all 4 sides, which will then give me a half centimetre border all the way around, obviously. There we go. So pop that there. So I think I want it to go this way, so that is what that's going to look like. So let's get that stuck down. I tend to, not always, but 80% of the time mat my whole layout. I just think it finishes a layout off, gives you that extra layer and interest. So you will find me matting my layout frequently, and what I will do is go around that with washi tape so it doesn't get caught when I'm pulling it in and out of pocket pages. I'm then going to use the part that I've gutted to map my photos, and I am matting them quite dark, but I'm just going to go with it. I think with the white background it will stand out. I've not yet done any mixed media on the background. I am thinking some packaging technique maybe. So just trim these off like so. So they are the photos that I'm using, and I want my photos to be this way round. One of them is slightly shorter. That's just because I cut them wrong. I kind of want to get that man out, but I want to cover this as well. Okay, that's not going to happen. Okay, so I'm going to do it something like that. So they are higher up because I want my title to go down here. So I'm just going to go off and do a little bit of something behind there, then pop back and we'll get these stars down with the flare. So very basic. All I've done is popped a bit of this on some packaging, sprayed a little bit of water and spread it around the page really. It's probably more concentrated than I wanted, but I have got some of the deeper shade there which I do like, and I'm going to pop my pictures about there. Before I do that, I'm just going to go through these stars and pop some at the ends here. I'm going to use a bit of Nouveau Deluxe adhesive. Just a blob in the middle. And I don't want to I'm not trying to get it in the centre, because obviously I'm going to build up with some flare. Excuse me. So just a tiny bit in the middle, and then randomly pop them on the ends. I do want a mix of designs, but there will be some ones that are doubled up, obviously. So let's pop them there. So I'm just going through, picking out different ones. Smaller ones where I don't have as much room. There we go. So we've got 3 this size, so let's put these on now, just so we can make sure that they're spread out a little. Pop one there as well. So it's just a case of going through the ones that I do have. I'm going to put only a couple of these very small ones. Don't really want to go much smaller. There we go. So I'll finish this off and then pull out the flare. We can start layering up some flare. So now I've got all the stars on, I've been through and chose some flare. So these are all from the, I think all of them, most of them, there are a couple that are available separately, from the prize set for the monochrome event over in Dotty About Flare. So you can win a set of 16 flare, all in blue shades and patterns. So I have used that set for this as well and added in a couple of different ones. So I'm just going through and popping them on with some foam dots. Then I've got my stars and flare, and we'll look what other, some of the stars haven't quite dried yet. We'll look what other embellishments we want to pull in and what title. And as we all know, I'm not the best at titles, but a couple of you have been in touch for some suggestions, and there's some brilliant sites where you can get titles, so I'm going to have a look at one of those, I think. So I wasn't sure whether this idea would work, but I am quite liking it. Stars and circles sometimes don't go together. It's probably not going to be for everybody, and that's okay. We can't all like everything. But I'm liking how it's looking so far. And when I add in my photograph, I think it works quite well together. What I'm probably going to do as well is add some sort of detail to the lines. What would be perfect is the new L Studio stamp set and acetate stickers with the faux stitching, but they're not out yet, or rather they're not out in the UK yet, so I can't add that. So I might just add some doodling effect to the lines and a bit of zigzagging or something, just to give a bit of extra interest to the page. Almost finished with these flare. So I've got 13 on the page at the moment. I don't know why, but I can't have odd numbers, especially 13. So I will add one more flare, one of these stripes that I've left out which I will incorporate into my embellishment cluster or title. So then we've got this one there. So I think that's all of them. So that is, can't lift it up, my page now. It is quite a heavy page and it is quite bulky, but you will probably be learning that that is most of my pages. There is my title. No, it's not. What am I going on about? That is my photo. And what I thought as well, I've got these acetate stickers from L's. I never know how to pronounce that. L Studio. And I did think about adding in additional stars into some of these stars around the flare. Because why have one star when you can have two? So I'm actually going to do that. Now what I should have done first was just double check that I have enough. I do have another sheet, so I'm going to hope that we have enough. Let's see. Because these bring in another shade of the blue, which I really like. Where else? Have one up here. I'll have a small one up there. Now, of course, it does mean that I've used all of my blue stars up on this page, which means that I'm going to have to buy another pack, obviously. So I think that's one on everyone, isn't it? Yeah, and we've got 3 left. So I like the way that that looks. It just gives an extra shade, as I say, and more interest. So they are the stars. So I'm going to put my photos up onto some foam just to give it a bit of dimension, and I can tuck things in to that. So I'm going to do that, dig out a few embellishments. I'm not going to need that much, and see what title I want. It's only an everyday sort of photo, so I don't need anything fancy really. And then we'll finish off this page for day 13. I've been to my L Studio box again. I've pulled out these tile alphas and a couple of sticker sheets. And I'm not going to embellish this really, to be honest. So my title's going to be a boring one again. So it's simply going to say, a break in York. Because he was having a break from work and he was in York. So it's very unoriginal, but it is what it is. And it's not a special memory or anything like that. It's just a selfie that he sent to me. Because we have a little thing where wherever we go, I'm always taking photos. So he started doing the same. So pop this one just under there. I've pulled out these stickers as well. These are from Field Trip from Chamel, and they are probably one of my favourite alphas. We won't discuss how many packs of them I have. York. I think it was York. I don't know if it was York now, you know. How ridiculous is that? Well, it's York for the purpose of this. I think it might be Carlisle. Tell you, what am I like? Anyway, it's now known as York, even if it isn't. And it'll just be one of those things if it isn't. So A Break in York is a very messy title, which I do like. So the sketch doesn't actually call for much embellishment at all, if any, if I remember rightly. So we've got this circular element, which I've omitted. I've not put another star there. I have, however, put a flare, and I've put my title. I'm not going to journal on it. It's nothing special, as I've already said. So I'm just going to pop in a couple of label stickers, just as a bit of added interest to the page as I do. So we'll pop a couple in either side. I've pulled these two stickers from other L Studio sheets and got this one stuck. There we go. So this one just says hello. I thought that one would look okay there. And this one says photo op. I've got this stars and stripes, which works. Not sure I need that now. I'm going to add a couple of stars. I just don't know where. What about here? So I'll add one there and one there. And I think that's going to do it, guys. Can we add any of these last ones, do you think? Or am I going overkill on the stars? Let's get them on. Get them used. There we go. It's star overkill, but I'm actually really happy with this. It's not going to be for everybody. It's definitely more is more, but then so is the sketch. It's very different to the sketch, but that's why I love sketches, because we all work with the same sketch and we all come up with something completely different. And that's what it's all about. So thank you very much for joining me today on day 13 of 30 Days of Sketches. I have completed the sketch and the Scraptember prompt of stars. I will be back tomorrow with day 14. Is that correct? Yep, day 14, and it's a fabulous sketch tomorrow. I really like tomorrow's sketch, and we'll be back on track then for daily videos. So thanks for bearing with me, and thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.